This shows our route from San Marcos to Oshkosh. We added an extra day in here just in case weather or mechanical issues delayed us. We left San Marcos about 6:45 in the morning on July 21st. As we got closer to Dallas, we noticed a large thunderstorm moving to the east of Dallas, and we decided to turn further east and stop at Mount Pleasant Airport to refuel. Our next refueling stop was Neosho, Missouri, then on to Keokuk, Iowa, where we had planned to spend the night. Because we had a bunch of camping gear, we couldn't fill our tanks full and could only take 32 gallons at a stop. These legs were between 2 and 3 hours each, which left us more than our required reserve. Friday morning, we had breakfast at the hotel and got a taxi. Actually, I think it was the only taxi in Keokuk. We went back to the airport for our next leg to Juneau, which was a staging area for the Cessna mass arrival into Oshkosh. Let's get packed and leave San Marcos for Dodge County Airport in Juneau, and I'll describe the mass arrival process in a bit. Okay, it's 6:45 in the morning. We just came back from our hotel, back to the airport. Our last nice, smooth night's sleep. We've got about 28 airplanes in this batch here. And here's Vicky. We were going to offload some of the heavy gear and put it in some of the vans that they've got driving up. They offered to do that if we've got any heavy gear. So we're going to do that, and we should be leaving about 1:30 or so. There were mass arrivals planned on Saturday the 23rd for Cessnas, Moonies, Bonanzas, and Piper aircraft, each departing at a different time from a different airport. The advantage of a mass arrival is that it's very well planned, and all of the airplanes of the same type get to park and camp together. We had 102 aircraft participate in the short 30 nautical mile flight from Juneau to Oshkosh. To participate in this mass arrival, you had to have attended a formation flight training session earlier in the year. In this training, we learned how to fly an inverted V formation called an element. The elements are spaced about 2,000 feet apart. I'll put a link to our formation training flight video in the description. I was in the fourth of 36 elements. As we came into Oshkosh, the lead and left side airplanes land on the main runway, and the right airplane lands on the taxiway. We land very far down the runway as there is another 90 or so airplanes behind us. That is probably the hardest thing to get used to, as you always try to land near the beginning of the runway instead of 3/4 of the way down it. But it's an 8,000-foot runway, so not an issue for a Cessna 172. Here we are in our 3 ship elements lining up on the runway. The lead plane lines up on the right side of the runway. The number 2 plane, which is going to be off the lead's left wing, lines up on the center line, and the number 3 plane lines up on the left edge of the runway. We lined up this way because we had a bit of left crosswind, so it keeps the turbulence of the plane ahead of you out of your way. The elements took off every 13 seconds, and each plane in the element took off 4 seconds after the plane in front. We then formed up into the inverted V formation. If you look on the taxiway to the right, you can see many more of the Cessnas getting ready for taxi. As we were flying, I had my eyes pretty much glued to the lead plane in our element. Jeff is doing a great job watching the number 3 airplane, watching for any other traffic, and backing me up on my instruments.
A few moments later.
See, the sky is starting to turn nasty. We just got in ahead of the storm.